Hi, you guys. My name is Oshun the Great, and welcome to my beautiful channel. Now, today is obviously a pretty, I guess the title is pretty kind of morbid and serious, but I understand needing, hold on, excuse the mess that you're going to see, but. All right, so, yeah. Okay, so, understanding how society works and meeting a lot of friends and people who feel suicidal or feel very down about themselves and their existence here on planet Earth, I feel like this video needs to be made. And a while ago, I posted a video on don't commit suicide today, but this is kind of like an extension of like, that realm of things, feeling helpless, feeling very like in despair. And keep in mind, I'm not a doctor, but I've been to the lowest of the low that you can ever possibly think of. And I'm just going to kind of include my story and how I kind of managed and still do manage that feeling because it hasn't quite gone away. Some of you guys know I'm a rape and incest survivor, and that has caused a lot of turmoil in my life. And a lot of it I have been using self therapy so far, so I haven't really gone to a therapist quite yet, but that is my plan in the future. But I'm gonna kind of like, if you guys don't really have the money right now, or like you just don't know, and you feel this way, I'm gonna kind of like give some advice or something that could probably help you that I've been kind of doing for myself. So yeah. Hold on, you guys, my phone is dying, so I'll try to do this quickly. Why we feel, to me, in my theory of why we feel the way we do in society, especially suicidal, is that we try to live up to these false expectations of life. And so my first step was don't listen to anybody. Don't give a fuck. And honestly, a lot of people will be like trying to tell you that this is selfish, that like, how could you this way? But that's bullshit. If you ever get to a point in your life where you don't feel like you have any reason to live, at this point, nobody's fucking opinion even matters. To be honest, nobody's opinion matters. No, because a lot of times if we're listening to others, they're the ones making us miserable a lot of times. Because we're trying to please mommy and daddy or please our friends or even our loved ones, our lovers. And a lot of times they could be giving us this turmoil and baggage. And a lot of times we have to distance ourselves from these people, learn to listen to only ourselves sometimes, because if we're trying to listen to all these social constructs and how we're supposed to be, how we're supposed to act, this causes people to have all these mental illnesses because we're trying to be this image of perfection that ultimately doesn't exist. So don't listen to anybody. And honestly, you just have to develop a don't give a fuck attitude. This is your life and you have to learn how to live it for you. And a lot of times we aren't taught that. And people don't understand that. I feel like that really does create a lot of suicides. So the next one is do what the fuck you want. So doing what you want ultimately means finding happiness for you and what that means to you, not what anyone's telling you happiness is. And sometimes we have to go exploring, and sometimes we have to try different things to find that happiness. Sometimes we have an ideal of what that happiness is, and it doesn't turn out to be that, and we end up miserable. But in this aspect, you're kind of encouraging you to keep going and find what that happiness means to you. For a long time, my lowest of the low point in my life, I think, I've always been a pretty depressed person, laying in bed kind of thing, didn't want to get out of bed or go to work a lot of times. But my lowest of the low was the time where I was having to make a choice to split from my family. And I was in a very despair state. And only thing that was helping me was skateboarding. And literally, skateboarding saved my life for like a month straight. I will only get up and just skateboard. I didn't give a fuck about making money. I didn't give a fuck about anyone else. That was what was keeping me alive. So at that point, I had made a conscious decision to just do what I loved. And again, a lot of people might disagree. They might be like, oh, that's reckless, oh, this and that. But again, if your life is on the line and no one a lot of time knows how you feel when it comes to despair and and these feelings like that. So really they have no business telling you, how to feel, or even writing it off as if it's not that bad and stuff like that. Ultimately, you do want to go if you feel like you need therapy and all that. They do have free counseling at places where you get put on wait lists and stuff like that. or just keep working towards getting, if that's what you feel like you need, professional help. I also use YouTube as like a self-therapy. I call it alchemy, turning metal into gold, bad situations into positive situations to help myself and others. That's a way that I kind of do it. A lot of what I feel like in this video, I kind of forgot the title, you guys. It's so horrible. But finding purpose in your life is like understanding that you make the purpose. Like nobody else tells you, you know, what means what in your life. You literally make up your own purpose. And a lot of times in life, that's scary to kind of realize that reality, because we're gifted religion and all these things, authority figures telling us otherwise. But once you realize, like, you know, I have the power to make up what my purpose is really. And at that point, your life is free game, and you don't have to stay in this limited box. And you know, so live for you. Ultimately, you really have to get out of this idea of how things look on the outside and just be authentic. And authenticity can save lives, because once you become comfortable in your authentic self, and you just don't, again, stop giving a fuck, then you don't take stuff as seriously. And then the next one is don't think too much. Because honestly, again, I feel like all of this kind of plays into like why we feel like our life has no purpose, when really living in itself is our purpose. And creating and adding to the collective and just being genuinely ourselves, whatever that is no perfect way to be ourselves. It doesn't mean going to college, working a 9 to 5 even. If you stripped all that away, like, we're still worthy. Your life revolves around you. So fuck everyone who says that it doesn't. You know, do what makes you feel good, what makes you feel happy. And honestly, the best thing I did in my life is to live by feeling. Because a lot of times when we go in this robotic attitude of things, then like that's the most useless point of life to me a lot of times. And it's up to us to find, you know, how to feel again, how to feel alive. And a lot of times that is following our passions, whatever that might be, traveling, falling in love, modeling, music. And it's up to us to, you know, make sure we're living out our passions and go to the direction that makes you feel the most alive, or the most free, or the most people think. Yeah, be you.